Israeli forces launched their biggest military operation in 20 years in West Bank's Jenin. At least 8 Palestinians have been killed in a day of violence, while dozens of others have been injured. Early on Monday, Israeli forces hit the Jenin city in the West Bank with drones as part of one of the biggest West Bank operations. An operation of this magnitude has rarely been seen in the city since the end of the second Intifada uprising 2 decades ago. Gunfire and explosions were heard throughout the day. Fighting continued between Israeli troops and fighters from the Jenin Brigade, a unit made up of militants in the city's crowded refugee camp. The Jenin camp has been at the heart of an escalating spiral of violence across the West Bank. For more than a year, army raids in cities like Jenin have been linked to a series of deadly attacks by Palestinians against Israelis and rampages by Jewish settler mobs against Palestinian villages. The Israeli military said it had struck a brigade's command center in the camp, claiming it was part of an extensive counter-terrorism effort aimed at disrupting militants from using the refugee camp as a base. An Israeli military spokesperson said there was no specific timeline for ending the operation.
There's a direct line between Islamic Jihad activity and Iran, funding capabilities, etc., etc. Talking about how long this will how long this will last, it could take hours, and it could also take days. We're focused on our goals. We're not here to conquer or hold the ground. When it's finished, we'll be out of there.
Israel Foreign Minister Eli Cohen said that the fight was not with the Palestinian people, but with the proxies of Iran, which is Hamas and the Palestinian Islamic Jihad.
We are striking the terrorism hub with a great strength. I want to emphasize that we don't have a fight with the Palestinians. Actually, our fight is with the proxies of Iran in our region, which is mainly with the Hamas and the Islamic Jihad, with both are a terrorist organization which financed by Iran.
Condemning the attack, Iran said the ongoing strikes against the undefended city of Jenin demonstrates that normalization of ties are not effective at all for stopping the Zionist regime's war machine. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu held a joint security assessment with the Defense Minister, Director of ISA and IDF Chief of Staff on the progress in Jenin. He was briefed on the offensive action, operational achievements and also the future goals. On the day of West Bank operation, thousands of Israelis descended on Israel's Ben Gurion airport in a show of strength against the government's renewal of its legislative push. Earlier, demonstrators also shut off access to a major Israeli seaport in northern Haifa for 1.5 hours. Our correspondent in Israel, Jody Cohen, has sent us this report.
Protesters against the government's judicial reforms are blockading Israel's main airport on Monday evening, and this follows a blockade at Israel's main seaport also on Monday. Now remember, it's the summer, the airport is extremely busy, and protesters are hoping to cause maximum disruption at this time. They're blocking the roads in the vicinity of the airport, the arrivals lounge, and focusing particularly on the departures lounge. Now, head of the opposition, Yair Lapid, says he supports these protests going on despite the operation that's taking place in Jenin. And in the latest there, Israel has said that it's found a laboratory containing hundreds of explosives. President Abbas has called for an urgent meeting of the Palestinian leadership. He's threatened to stop security coordination with Israel. Hamas is calling on young Palestinians to join in the fighting, and UN envoy Tor Wennesland has called on Israeli and Palestinian leaders to protect civilians. This is Jody Cohen for WION World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.